It feels like a personal attack on Christians because no other organization comes under such scrutiny.
Our commitment to freedom is in sharp contrast to the Liberals. The Liberals are threatening charitable status of religious organizations as well as of individuals on the basis of their conviction.
And we talk about BLM, Indigenous rights, we talk about Black Lives Matter, we talk about different things in our society that people with disabilities that we see are human, but unfortunately right now, somehow somebody that's inside the womb is not seen as human.
The unwanted child doesn't exist. It's a philosophy that has failed humanity.
They are beloved, they are chosen, they're cherished, and if they're not cherished by their family, we are here to show them that they are cherished because they are human.
And they're merely using abortion as a tool to further their sexist ends.
Alexa Lavoie for Ribbon News, and I'm currently in Ottawa at Parliament Hill because today is the annual pro-life march, and why it was important for us to be here is to give a voice to the people who have been demonized for too long by the Liberal government and also the legacy media. So we are here to give them the opportunity to speak, to give their opinion on this movement and the ongoing current situation here in Canada. As you know, the Liberals, and especially Trudeau, at the beginning, he cleaned up his party from every single candidate who held a pro-life stance. And just before he stepped down, he introduced a new proposal to remove the charity status from organizations who promote pro-life stance. So I'm here to gather the opinion of the people, and I also had the chance to see MP Garnet Genius from Alberta. So I asked him the difference between the Liberals and the Conservatives on this issue. So I will let you watch the full report. Why it was important for you to be here at the pro-life march?
Well, I think the theme says it pretty well. We're here for all human rights from conception.
I think it needs to stop here. At least we need to have laws like restricting at the very least. But it'd be nice if it was completely, banned.
I think it's really important for young women and young men as well to understand both sides of what options and what pro and what life means. And I think once we understand that, our opinion changes. At least that's my experience.
Unfortunately, we don't respect the preborn. We think that they're not human. And, we talk about BLM, Indigenous rights, we talk about Black Lives Matter, we talk about different things in our society that, people with disabilities that we see are human, but unfortunately right now, somehow somebody that's inside the womb is not seen as human. And that is not biology. It's not truth. And it's not rooted in truth. So I'm here to spread the truth to people that don't know the truth. Maybe they don't want to listen. Maybe, they're hurt. Sometimes it comes from a place of pain. So I'm here to show them that, they are beloved, they are chosen, they're cherished. And if they're not cherished by their family, we are here to show them that they are cherished because they are human.
We believe that there's a direct correlation between the wealth of the nation and its ability to protect life, whether it's the preborn or the elderly. And because our Prime Minister seems to have a callous attitude to that, and the previous one, we're all paying a price. But it's up to the entirety of the nation to push back and to become extremely vocal and to not accept this mandate, because in effect we're killing ourselves.
Le Canada est un des seuls 7 pays dans le monde où tu as le droit de te faire avorter à n'importe quel mois de la grossesse. Puis ça, il y a plein de monde qui savent pas ça. Et la Corée du Nord fait partie des 7 pays. Fait qu'on est aussi pire que la Corée du Nord. Puis ça, c'est une vérité.
If there's anything that could be more important than this, I would be there. So I can't see anything that would be more important than protect the beginning of conception, life and conception. So for me, this is a huge issue all over the world. if you look at just the monetary sense of things, what we're complaining about where we're short in paying into the Canadian pension plan, it lines up with the amount of deaths, innocent deaths, that we get rid of these so-called unwanted children.
I think that, it's valuable to meet other people because, often we're all very lonely and we don't know if there's anybody out there that, feels the way that we do or feels, and I've talked to lots of people who live in like neighborhoods that aren't very pro-life and get to basically meet with all these other people who are pro-life that they've never met before, and I think that's a great privilege. Number one, but the prime reason is that babies are dying, and 300 babies are getting killed every single day, and it's a valuable thing to fight for the sanctity of life. MAID is also despicable. I think that it's despicable. I think that MAID is very, very destructive. It is we are torturing and killing the elderly, and we don't even respect our veterans anymore. We have no respect for them.
What is the difference between the Liberals and the Conservatives on this issue?
Well, Conservatives believe in freedom, and we are a party that has members that are have personal pro-life views and personal pro-choice views within our party, and in some ways we're like most families in that respect, right? We collaborate on important areas while not requiring everyone to be exactly the same. But our commitment to freedom is in sharp contrast to the Liberals. The Liberals are threatening charitable status of religious organizations as well as of individuals on the basis of their convictions. And I don't think people should have charitable status threatened on the basis of anything. I mean, can you imagine if Conservatives said we want to take charitable status away from groups that we don't agree with? We would never do that. That commitment to freedom, to letting people hold their opinions, express their opinions, really is in sharp contrast with where the Liberals are. As well, there's the issue of euthanasia that is hugely important to a lot of people, and the Liberal position has continued to be to support the expansion of euthanasia to include those suffering from mental illness, and we have been united in opposing that. Our party's had free votes on the issue, as is consistent with our member-driven policy document, free votes on these kinds of issues. But we have all agreed, for instance, to oppose this further expansion that the Liberals have been pursuing. So, I think when I talk to people around the world, on the right, on the left, in between, they are shocked by the situation in Canada when it comes to euthanasia, and there's just been a real lack of willingness by the Liberal Party to recognize how far things have gone and the problems that have been created when people living with disabilities, people in other kinds of situations have been pushed, repeatedly encouraged to go down this path even when they don't want to. So those are some areas of, I think, clear differentiation.
Action at conception! Protection! Louder!
What do you think about the people who try to say that pro-lifers, the people who are promoting pro-life stance, can pose a threat to the woman's rights to choose?
Yeah. I would say that it doesn't. Unfortunately, we've been bought the lie that it does, but it actually means that we're telling them, abortion is good enough for you. And what is that telling them? That we're going to leave them alone. We're going to let them abuse their bodies, right? Because either it's forceps, either it's a chemical abortion pill. Right now, I don't know what study it is where it's saying that 1 in 10 women with the chemical abortion pill suffer. They bleed out. They have to go back to the hospital because a piece of the baby is inside the womb. On Reddit, it's been said that they see the baby in the toilet, and that's traumatizing.
She has rights, but she can't impose a death sentence on someone else.
I can't really stop them from their choice, but I just want to pray that they'll understand
Well, we're here to protect all rights, so I think, honestly, we have to protect for everyone, and it's more than about you. And when you are pregnant, even if it's early on, there's more than just you, right? So I think, what about them? If they're worried about their right, what about the right inside of you?
The argument of if a woman is abused, to end that life because of the abuse? Or is the problem more we should look in and achieve justice for the wrong that was done to that woman, number one? Take it from the beginning, instead of always the solution of taking a life. Always seems to be the easier road. There's plenty of people in even my own family that have wanted children that couldn't have children. So the unwanted child doesn't exist. It's a philosophy that has failed humanity.
We've lost our ability to think clearly. We've been indoctrinated with so much garbage, and it's toxifying and killing us.
I have talked to women who have had abortions, and they had their abortion maybe at 21, and they remember it at 47. They think about it every day till the day they die. And they're 47, they've never talked to anybody about their abortion, they've never talked to anybody about their trauma, they've never talked to anybody, and I feel great sorrow for them, because you will never forget your abortion. You will never forget what you did to that innocent child in your womb.
So at Ribbon News, we believe that we should show you all sides of the story, and it's why we went to see the counter-protesters who surprisingly were open to talk to us. So I asked them about a new phenomenon that we are seeing in British Columbia, a phenomenon that emerged from the Western world, where people are actually doing abortion based on the sex of the baby. So this is critical because in BC we are seeing an increase of sex-selective abortion, where people are promoting more male than female. So it's a new trend that is happening in BC, and it's why the College of Physicians and Surgeons of British Columbia went out to talk about it. So I'm letting you on the full answer of the counter-protester of today.
Well, in the world right now, we're seeing a lot of restrictions being placed on women's bodily autonomy. There's no restrictions on men's, and there are on women. That is a truly sexist thing that is happening in the world. Women and men deserve bodily autonomy and equality, and that's not happening. There's so many restrictions in the States right now, and we don't want the same thing to happen here. There's constant threats, and it's not okay for them to tell me what I can do with my body. If I get pregnant and I can't take care of it, or if I get sexually assaulted and I don't wish to carry my rapist child, I should have that choice to not carry it.
Sometimes when they know that they have a woman, like a girl, they will kill the fetus.
Just for that?
Yeah, it's something that is happening in the Western world, but there is an increase now in British Columbia. What do you have to say about this?
I don't think it's a good thing, but I guess if it's a dude, maybe then it's okay.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah, actually you can say something too.
I don't know if that's actually happening, but it does sound plausible. And if that is happening, that is not an abortion problem, that is a sexism problem.
Mm-hmm. That's fact.
Yeah, and they're merely using abortion as a tool to further their sexist ends.
The new announcement that they want to support the IVF procedure, but in the same time pushing and promoting abortion and contraceptive pills, do you think it's a little bit like a double standard, what the Liberals are doing?
Well, I'll just come back to what our position has been, which is to follow our member-driven policy document on these issues, which includes a commitment to free votes for members of Parliament on issues of conscience. I think the good thing about the Conservative Party and where we're clearly different from the Liberals is that consistent commitment to freedom.
How did you react when you saw that Trudeau introduce a new proposal to remove the charity status from organizations who promote pro-life stance?
I think he's under demonic influence, to tell you the truth. It doesn't make any sense. We give everything away for free. We ask no money from the government. We exist on donations, and he wants to take away our charitable status. We don't ask the government for anything.
So I think where Trudeau stands on God is very evident. And, you know, it feels like a personal attack on Christians because no other organization comes under such scrutiny or such condemnation for their beliefs.
I think it's terrible what he's done and how he's destroying the country, and yeah, it's really sad.
Most of the institutions that have done things outside of government, like you think about the Red Cross, all of the air flights that go up to the north, all of these have a charitable status. It's not just the churches, but those churches and institutions have received donors and they have backers who do things in a volunteer capacity. If they take over the assets and they take over the charitable station, then everybody loses and we get into a crisis like we've never known before.
It's incredibly sad. People may not realize the vast majority of donations are coming from Christian organizations. If he removes that charitable status, society is doomed. Society will fall because so many organizations rely on this funding and this help from people.
What can be the consequences to don't have this charity status?
Well, you know, there's all sorts of organizations that help society in many, many ways. And if these organizations don't have that status, if they can't garner the donations from the people, they can't operate. And society is going to have many, many, many problems as a result of that.
So if you want to know more about our side of the story that is not shown by the legacy media, and you want to encourage us, please chip in at rebelfieldreports.com. And on this website, please make sure to donate, same if it's a couple of bucks, to make sure we are showing you the other side of the story.